Welcome back. It is the Flow Friday Sports Show here on Flow FM, and it's time to check in with Veg Ingram, the president of the Gawler and District Softball Association. Veg, good to be with you again. How you doing?
Very good, thank you, Ellis. And we had a cracker of a week last week with softball.
Oh, we did just, didn't we? And I'm particularly keen to hear all about it. So let's go first to the men, the Giants. I believe there's some better news on the cards this week, Veg.
Yes, so the Giants men had a screamer of a game last week against USC. With only a couple of minutes to go, the score was 13-all. Giants had the last bat and they had runners on second base and third base, so in scoring position. The batter came up to the plate, swung and missed a strike. The catcher also missed the ball and it went behind the net. And when it goes behind the net, past the dead ball line, the base runners advance a base. So they actually got over the line by one run when the umpire was just about to call time in game. And then the opposition said, no, the rules say that you must play out the innings. So Giants kept on batting and scored another 10 runs to win the game 24-13.
Well, Veg, I'll tell you what, I reckon they might have been listening to your radio interview last week, because you did say that an emphasis on batting practice might be the reason for them finding a bit of a cutting edge in their quest to finally win this season. So what do you reckon? They might have been listening to Flo last week.
Yeah, I think so. And also coupled with some aggressive base running, that really, I think, just took them over the line. Just keep wanting to go that extra base every time. And we've got some very quick players out there on the field. So I think that definitely helped as well.
All right, let's find out what is in store for the Giants this evening, Veg. So they'll be wanting to build off their win last week, of course. How do you see this week going?
Yeah, so this week they're playing Phantoms Black. So that'll be a good game tonight. Let's hope that they continue with the win. They're definitely going to have to focus on their batting again. Phantoms Black do have a fast young pitcher in there. So let's hope that they continue on that winning streak.
Absolutely. Let's unpack the action from last weekend across the traps. We'll start with the under-14s. How did we get on there with the two games in the under-14s, Veg?
Yeah, so the under-14s, we had Kangas versus Trinity College Yellow. So great pitching effort by Lily from Kangas and some home runs by Chelsea and Blake kept them in a winning position throughout the game. So they won that game 11-3. So that was definitely Kangas' way. The other game was Trinity College Red versus Giants. So it was a fairly low-scoring game and a tight contest, which saw Trinity College Red take the win over Giants. Josephine from Trinity dominated the mound, while Dan from Giants hit a whopping home run off the tee. A few errors from Giants near the end of the game saw Trinity take the win 6-3.
Okay, now bring us up to speed on what the fixtures are for the under-14s going into tomorrow's action, Veg.
Yeah, so at 9:30 on Diamond 2, we have Giants versus Trinity College Yellow. So the young Trinity team are improving each week, and this week the Yellow take on Giants, so that will be a good game to watch. In the other game, we have Trinity College Red versus Kangas. So with Josephine taking the mound for Trinity, Kangas will definitely need to focus on their offence this week.
There we go. We'll move along to the under-17s. Just one game, I believe, to discuss this for this week. Veg, tell us what went on in the under-17s last week.
Yeah, so the under-17 last week, we had Kangas versus Blue Jays. So this was a tight contest. Both teams played really well. Alana Gum hit a beautiful hit to right field, resulting in a home run. One of the highlights of the game was young Lockie Peel executing a slide into home plate under the tag, resulting in a safe call. The final score was 7-all, so that was a really close game.
Nail-biter indeed. What can we look forward to tomorrow with the under-17s?
Yeah, so this week at the under-17s at 11:30 on Diamond 2, we have Giants versus Blue Jays. This will be a really good contest to watch. Both teams are improving every week, and I don't think I could pick a winner for this game, so we'll just have to wait and see for that one.
Certainly. Let's take a look at seniors action. Div 2, what went on across the mounds last weekend, Veg?
Yeah, so Div 2, we had Kangas versus Blue Jays. So Kangas started confidently and continued throughout the game to defeat Blue Jays. Blue Jays managed to score 6 runs with some aggressive base running, and with some great pitching by Jess Wheatley from Kangas and some big hits from Kangas, they took the lead to win the game 15-6. The other Div 2 game was Two Wells versus Giants. The Giants found the gaps in the field, coupled with some aggressive base running, defeated Two Wells 13-8.
And what can we look forward to this weekend in Div 2?
So Div 2 this week at 2 o'clock, we've got Blue Jays versus Two Wells. So Two Wells are looking at regrouping after last week and will need to hold the Blue Jays because last week they did some really aggressive base running. So Two Wells are really going to have to focus on their defence this week. And in the other Div 2 game at 4 o'clock, we have Giants versus Kangas on Diamond 2. This game is fairly evenly matched. Both teams are coming off a win from last week and will hopefully be wanting to continue that winning streak again this week.
Well, Veg, we're usually used to hearing about some pretty intense games in Div 1, but not the case this weekend, or the last weekend gone, I should say. We had a couple of absolute whitewashes.
Yeah, it's really funny, Alice, because often you'll find in Division 1 the scores are very close and there's a lot of innings being played. It's a fairly tight contest. And in Division 2, you usually find that that's the grades that have a lot more high scores. But it was quite the opposite this week. In Div 1, we had Kangas Grey versus Kangas Blue. So Kangas Blue scored a couple of runs in the first 2 innings and held Grey. It wasn't to the 3rd innings when Blue really dominated the game with a triple and a home run from Tracy Roberts and a triple from Amanda Stewart that helped Blue secure the win. So they won 12-0. So that was a really high-scoring game. In the other Division 1 game, we had Two Wells versus Blue Jays. Blue Jays really dominated this game to win, and they enforced the mercy rule. So that means once they get so many runs ahead, they call the game. The junior players, Chelsea Varco, did an outstanding job umpiring her first Division 1 game, and it's just great to see those younger players stepping up into those leadership roles. Blue Jays continued to score throughout the game, winning 20-0.
Well, Veg, I've got to ask, do you forecast that we might have some closer games to look forward to this weekend in Div 1?
I do. I think there'll definitely be some closer games. So this week in Division 1 at 2 o'clock, we have Giants versus Kangas Blue. The Giants will have a tough game ahead of them as they're taking on the top position Kangas Blue, but they're going to be fighting hard this week for that win. In the other Div 1 game at 4 o'clock, we have Blue Jays versus Kangas Grey. So Blue Jays have been playing really well the past few weeks and will need to focus on having that strong defence to stop Kangas Grey this week.
Now, I believe Two Wells are charged with the Canteen charitable initiative for the week, so tell us more about that, Veg.
Yeah, so Two Wells have Canteen and their special round this weekend is motor neuron disease, so MND. This is a cause very close to their heart, having lost some club members to the disease. And these diseases affect the nerves known as motor nerves or motor neurons. And these nerves degenerate and die. This causes the muscles to become weaker and weaker and eventually lead to paralysis. So MND is uncommon but not rare, and recent statistics estimate that there's probably over 2,000 people in Australia currently diagnosed with MND, and every day 2 Australians are diagnosed. So if you're at Carbeaton Reserve this weekend, pop in on Saturday and support this important cause.
Absolutely. Now, before we let you go, Veg, you've been pretty busy this week. You attended a important luncheon throughout the week. Just tell us about that quickly.
Yeah, so Sport SA put on a Women in Sport luncheon on Wednesday, and that was fantastic. It was great to get out there and hear other women in sport and what people are up to, and it was a great opportunity to catch up with some old colleagues myself and make some more contacts out there in the industry. So it was a fantastic lunch, great company, really lovely venue down at West Beach.
Veg Ingram, always great to speak to you. Enjoy the action across the weekend. That's Veg Ingram from Gawler District Softball Association, the president there, of course. Thanks for your time, Veg. We'll speak next week.
Thanks, Ellis. Enjoy the weekend.